Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kara Isagami, your resident tinkerer and meta-rodder, and it's so good to honestly be back after so long without streaming. It's been quite some time since the last stream I've held, and I know I've kept you guys out of the loop on that for a while. This episode will be just a little bit stranger compared to others, but I have tried to keep you guys in the loop. So while I'm still putting some stuff together and working on that. How's everyone doing today? I've been missing being able to go on live and hang out with you guys for a while. So just gonna kind of give folks a couple more minutes to kind of slide on in here while I'm wrapping up some stuff. Looks like everything is running just fine, so good to go. All right, beautiful. All right, so like I said, I'm just gonna give a couple more minutes for everything, but no, it is good to be back. I have really missed streaming for some time. I really wanted to get back into it, but I've been... How do I put this? I've been very busy. Very busy. Very busy, very stressed. And it was just a lot of stuff that came up, and I just kind of had to, I had to take time off and kind of figure some stuff out. So, let me see here what we got here. Stuck at work all afternoon. Alright, well, I do appreciate you guys stopping on in. Hub, Koi, Barry, Cosmo, I do appreciate all that and having you guys stop on in. Stuck at work, was debating on going to looking for games, but it's hot. Yeah, I definitely understand how that is, especially with the weather starting to warm up. It's honestly hard to believe it's the start of June already. Like, seriously, where has this year gone? We're already, like, halfway through it, and I'm not ready for that. It's been going on far too fast with far too much going on. I need a break, man. I need a break. It's honestly been kind of nuts. So let me see how we're doing so far. Everything's looking pretty good so far. Let's see. Fabioshi, guy who got kicked out. Yeah, I remember that. I remember what happened to your account. I'm really sorry about that. Did you ever, if you ever got your account fixed or taken care of, do reach out to somebody or reach out to me and let me know what the new username is, and I can see about trying to get that unbanned or making sure that, or get you an invite so you can hop back in, because you did have a lot of conversation whenever we were talking about stuff, and it really did suck to see that your account got hacked. So I am really sorry for that. But like I said, if you're not already part of the group again, let me know. Reach out to me on Twitter somewhere, and I'll see about getting you a link. Okay, perfect. You did. Beautiful. Let me see. Never change. Pom Pom May Cosmo. Yeah, it is good to have you guys. I do appreciate it. Yeah, it is good that everyone's kind of coming together on that. Let me see. I was kind of hoping that everybody would kind of come in here, because I want to have... This stream's going to be a little bit different compared to most others. You know, there's not really going to be any game planned or anything big on, on that. Pretty much like I said in the teaser leading up to this, it's going to be kind of a, it's going to be kind of a sitting down and formally addressing the situation and kind of coming to terms with the decisions that came to mind. But, let me see. Scrappy, Lottle, I see you guys in here. Chris Robo, Senior Getter, I see you guys in here. It is good to see you guys. Like I said, I've really missed being able to stream. It's just been a very crazy last couple months, and like I said, I've had some time to lean back and kind of cool my jets and do some soul searching, and I think I'm finally at a point where I'm ready to kind of explain what I thought about the decisions I've come to. And being completely honest, it's a lot. It actually had taken me this full 2 months straight to actually come to a decision before I actually had a chance to coordinate the stream and put it to paper. And speaking of paper, I basically, what I did was I wrote the whole thing out. Like, it's gonna be like a personal letter addressed to everybody. So how this stream is essentially going to work is I'm just going to read off this letter, because if I try to improv my reasons the whole time, I'm going to go off on tangents, and that's going to make this thing a whole forever and a half, and I don't want to do that to y'all. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to read this letter word for word as I wrote it, and you guys can process it, figure it out how you need. The chat is open. That is one of the big things I'm going to emphasize in this. That the chat is open. You guys don't need to, wait for an end of conversation or end of sentence. If you have something to say, please say it. This is going to be an open discussion. I want to hear all of your voices. I want to hear your thoughts and your feelings, because while this is important to me, let's see, am I still gonna be active in the Discord? Yes, I'm not going anywhere. My Discord's not going anywhere. I'm not graduating like that. I'm not gonna just disappear off the internet. I promise you guys. But yeah, I have a lot of thoughts I had to consider and put down, and it was just easier to kind of write it all in a letter and let you guys kind of process it from there. And essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it. I'm going to kind of give you guys a second to think about it as I'm reading it along. You guys can listen. And then it's just going to be open discussion from here until I decide to cut the stream. So it's going to be a little bit of everything. If you guys have any questions, any comments, anything at all, the chat is your floor. So I want you guys to take advantage of that. Anything that you want to say, be respectful, obviously. But I want to make sure all of you are heard, because my channel doesn't exist without you guys. I would not be here 5 years. Wow, 5 years. Well, technically 5 years in about 3 days, but close enough. I would not be here without you guys. So I felt that what I wanted to bring to the discussion here today is something that I wanted to keep you all involved in, because my hiatus was very sudden, more or less out of nowhere, and I did not like kind of leaving you guys high and dry like that. So for context of what's going on, so essentially for context is what happened and what led to my hiatus for those that are out of the loop, and then I'll read the letter. 2 months ago, at the end of March, I was in a car accident. I was T-boned at an intersection, head up, straight on the driver's side. Yeah, you think for your first accident be like a fender bender, or like you jump the curb or something, or pop a tire. No. Just my luck, I got T-boned at an intersection, and I actually got rolled onto my top. So it was extremely scary. Car's totaled, unfortunately. There's no saving it. But I'm okay, I'm fine. But it was kind of the catalyst that sparked a ton of stuff that required me to kind of take a step back and think about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and how I'm feeling. Not just about me as a content creator, but more or less just me as a person, IRL, in everything I do. So that's why my hiatus was so sudden, and I didn't even get a chance to like give a warning or like a farewell or anything like that. So that's what happened there. It's been a crazy last couple months. Things are finally starting to turn around now. I think I'm feeling a little bit better overall mentally, but it's been crazy. So I obviously hope you guys understand where I've been. I didn't disappear on you guys without a reason, I promise. But yeah, car accidents will do that to people. So yeah, it was kind of crazy, and luckily nobody was seriously hurt. Sheer miracle it was, and it was just crazy. I'll put it that way, and definitely make me extremely hyper vigilant when I'm on the road going forward, because like I said, just my luck. Not given that it wasn't a like a fender bender or a pop tire. No. I had to get T-boned at an intersection, so that was fun. So yeah, that's kind of where I've been the last couple months. If you guys were wondering why there's been no meta news coverage or anything else of the like. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pull out my letter here. I'm going to read this real quick. And like I said, the chat is still going to remain open, so if you have any comments or anything that you want to say, please do not hesitate to put it in the chat and say so. That the chat is you guys' soapbox and shouting grounds. So I'm just going to read this. I'm not going to stop and read chat, at any point while I'm reading this. I'm just going to go all the way down. You guys can put comments down as you listen, do whatever. But essentially, this is going to kind of explain everything and all the decisions I've come to, and all the thinking and all the soul searching I've had over the last couple months. All right. So here we go. Well, actually, before I get started, let's see. What do you think of State of S and Survivors? It's hard telling, honestly. Survivors, I have absolutely nothing positive to say anymore. I'll get to that later once we open discussion to everything. But it's just been really crazy. I can't defend Survivors anymore. S, I feel, is getting kind of stale, which really sucks, and they're kind of just falling off. But I want to kind of hold out and see if maybe just they're holding out until after Card RB releases. And then they might kind of go back to business as usual. So I don't know, but it's been something that it's been something that a lot of people have been complaining about. So it's not just me. But anyway, so on to my letter. So like I said, this is the culmination of about 2 months worth of soul searching and thinking and editing and cleaning and re-editing. So this is like the final version of this letter out of like 8 to put all this together. So ultimately, good morning or afternoon or evening, Metarotters. I must confess, it has been some time since my last coverage video or breakdown, but for those out of the loop, the last couple months or so have been stressful, to say the least. Before I move to that, however, I think I need to address the bigger elephant in the room. I'm not going to mince words, and I'm going to say it bluntly and simply. Effective end of this stream, the Metarot News Network will be closing its doors under its current name and graduating. Now, you all will probably be asking, but why, Kuro? Why? You love the MNN. Why would you shut it down? To explain, there are a number of factors that were involved, and an equal number of counter-arguments that have matched each of my options. Much of this deliberation period was trying to overcome stalemates of my options and any counter-arguments that I came with myself. And these previous couple months away from delivering the meta news has given me time to properly reflect and consider where I stand on the matter and figure some things out. Firstly, let's address the easiest factor. I have found gainful employment. However, the schedule is more or less a rolling schedule with no guaranteed off days. This means that my days off will not be consistent each week, and I would not be able to deliver the news every Tuesday as I have been up to this point. So, even if I were to continue delivering the meta news, there would be a very high chance it would be coming after a patch goes live and no longer be considered punctual or on time to give folks a heads up to new content. Plus, given my nature of wanting to be ready before something drops, I would feel bad doing that to you and forcing you to receive the news secondhand or after the fact. The second reason is my mental health. To put it bluntly, I have not been okay for a very long time. I do not view myself in favorable light, and in general, I am moderately negative regarding who I am. In light of this, my car accident about 2 months ago put into a very harsh but desperately needed perspective that my views on who I am have been pessimistic and self-demeaning for far too long. Me walking away from that accident, which totaled my car beyond salvage, with no broken bones, no internal injuries, and only minor glass cuts to my hands when I was crawling out, is nothing short of a miracle from God. And I'm reminded on that day that I clearly still have a purpose on this good green earth. What that purpose is, I'm still figuring it out. But, moving forward, I can in confidence assure you that I'm on a mend. I won't lie to you and say everything's fine, but I can say that I'm simply taking it a day at a time. And when I sense those negative feelings start to linger, I work on processing them one at a time. It'll be a journey, but it's one that, frankly, I've been on for a while, and recent events only made it clear that I can't ignore this any longer. The last reason I've decided to shut down the MNN is in reflection of my own content and my own feelings that go into my productions every week. To answer my previous rhetorical question I presented, yes, I do love what I do. I loved being able to take time each week and talk about Metarot and just gush about it. New releases, upcoming models and thoughts, just everything in between. Tuesdays were my favorite day of the week for a very long time for this very reason. However, as those who have been part of the Discord community will know, and those that follow me on Twitter, understand that Imagineer has reflected a drastically noticeable drop in quality when delivering the official news on their weekly streams, and with content within their ongoing mobile games. It has been going on for a little over 2 months now, but it appears that all efforts and resources for weekly productions have shifted almost exclusively to talking about Card Row Battle RB, and nearly shunted Meta S and Survivor news entirely to simple HTML pages of the in-game news. I used to love catching the streams every morning when I woke up, but this new change in quality for the news has developed into me wondering if they're only going to show off the in-game news as is with very little commentary, then genuinely, what is even the point of tuning into the stream anymore? This furthermore is exacerbated by a rising implication that made it feel like, just play the game if you want to see the news for yourself. Due to this, I was forced to improvise my quality of meta news to still accurately reflect the new stuff that was announced, and this change in quality is especially present in my more recent individual breakdowns of new bots that are introduced each week, if applicable. I had even developed a personal use stat sheet template in GIMP that I was using to compensate for the change in quality, a fact I'm somewhat proud of myself for to demonstrate my willingness to adapt. And do not get me started on all the back-to-back collaborations they've been marathoning. I will also refrain from my negative thoughts regarding Meta Survivor and its very poor handling of localization, as a Survivor genre in general, and horrific pay-to-win incentive that completely detracts from the game enjoying the game properly. This statement is neither the time nor the place for those feelings. As a result of all the aforementioned factors, I began to harbor a kind of resentment, I suppose is the best term to use. It started to feel like my own content had started to look cleaner and more professional than the official channel, and it was a feeling that I could not easily overlook or ignore. To anyone that knows me, I am a one-man production. I learned content creation, video production, practiced public speaking, editing, and even post-production and social media handling, all by myself. I have no team to rely on that assists me in my weekly content or streams, and it was all done by hand by yours truly. Assets I needed, drawn by hand. Media post, all personally edited, typed, and uploaded. Imagineer has a dedicated team of people that work on the weekly streams and productions, and I have openly stated the opinion that I could be made redundant at any moment if they ever chose to tackle the Western community themselves. But they chose not to, which is where I stepped in 5 years ago to be that bridge and keep everyone in the know. That said, I didn't want to continue delivering content I felt resentful over, or not fully committed to. I wanted to deliver you the best quality of content that I could as a solo content creator, and not feeling okay with my own work is something I simply cannot accept. For this, I want to apologize, genuinely, for not being as strong of a voice as I thought I was for all of you. Like I said in my hiatus letter, I just felt that if I kept going and pushed as hard as I could, the MNN would take off and I would be able to see the fruits of my labor cultivate into something new to keep the Western community involved. However, I must also confess that dream was partially selfish, because every week I yearned and hoped that one day I would receive that attention from Imagineer that I wanted, and even be a kind of, I don't know, maybe partnered isn't the best term, but formally supported by Imagineer, essentially. Compounding on this, to have not received that recognition I fought 5 years for was also progressively detrimental to my feelings regarding my own content. This feeling had been lingering periodically since my 3rd anniversary, so it's frankly nothing new. Now, to clarify, I know deep down that it was probably a long shot in a pipe dream from the very beginning, but the non-zero part of me that still believed in a miracle was still there and kept me going some weeks when I considered skipping a week or two with no content. Now, all that aside, I want to clarify as well, I do not want to stop content creation, because it is still something I have an interest in. After taking all this time away from production to consider my feelings and desires, I have come to my decision of formally shutting down the MNN and rebranding under a new name and a new primary style of content. I want to do Let's Plays and collab games, or even do reviews or hot takes with friends on various topics. Simply put, when I'm ready to return to content creation properly, I want to pursue my hobby as a VTuber as a true indie with no affiliation, fan or otherwise. That said, I'm sure you still have some questions regarding the future of my channel and other developments I previously had hands in, so let's address a few of the more pressing questions. The first one, what about your work in Project Rising Beetle? I will continue my contributions as an admin and head for the community as I have been before. I will continue to casually stay in the know if I happen to catch anything noteworthy, but I will not be creating dedicated content or videos on it as often unless the community requests of me to. This also involves community engagement. While I have been actively trying to garner in-house participation of the community via contests with prize incentives and other rewards, the results of such are, putting it bluntly, very mixed at best, despite my efforts to ensure that everyone is or feels included. If there is still a continued interest in seeing such, I will try to see about facilitating them more often. The other pressing question, what about your breakdowns and coverage? I will no longer be delivering meta news as I have been currently. I'm happy to repost or talk about updates or developments via discussion on other streams or videos, or even in the group Discord, but there will no longer be any new episodes of the MNN going forward. I am, however, leaving the door open to my row battle analytics videos, but there is a very strict condition that leaves the ball in your court. If you still want to see breakdown videos, then I need to know without a shadow of a doubt that you still want them. If so, I may feel led to continue working on them at my own pace and scheduling as I'm able to. Otherwise, I will not be actively pursuing that venue either, if the interest is not present. All of my current breakdown videos and coverages will remain up for viewing purposes, however, for the foreseeable future. I will continue to periodically update and contribute to guides and conversation regarding Meta S as I can, but given developments on those are more sporadic, there may or may not be much of a noticeable change with these. The short answer to all of this is I want to make content that I'm happy with and feel confident in releasing, and the MNN coverage had begun turning into something I don't feel proud of or satisfied in the quality of anymore. I want to make content for me on my own schedule and be free to do what I want without feeling bound to only two types of content. For so long, I felt that I was locked to being only the Metabots guy of the internet, a title I will still treasure and wear proudly for all of you. But part of the reason was because of the lack of people actively talking about the series on the internet. Unlike something like Pokemon, which has thousands of people talking about it on a slow day, Medarot just doesn't have that level of exposure. So part of my reason for sticking it out until I couldn't anymore was the guilt of knowing that there was no one to take over, so to speak, if I ever decided to step down. Despite this, I still didn't want to leave you all high and dry with no coverage or news, and even with my decision, there is still a part of me that feels bad about wanting it this way. However, for the sake of my channel and the direction I see for it moving forward, I do hope you all will understand. That said, if I have failed or disappointed any of you, I want to apologize formally and genuinely for my neglect, or anywhere else I might have fallen short. So that's about it, really. I have taken the last couple months of soul-searching to reach this decision, and it's one that I feel the most confident in moving forward as a content creator. So to recap, the long and the short of it is, the Medarot News Network, effective this stream, will be formally shut down and graduated. Meta news coverage will no longer be produced, and when I am ready to return to content creation and streaming, I will rebrand as a solo indie under the name Isagami Machineworks. Thank you for 5 years of dedicated support, encouragement, and every high and low that you've shared with me through this journey as your resident tinkerer and meta-rodder. Though I will no longer be the dedicated source of meta news on the internet, I still wish to remain everyone's favorite tinkerer and will continue to be there however I can. And I hope that you all will continue to support and follow me through this new horizon when I'm ready to reopen my workshop doors. So that's it. That's my whole letter and all the decisions I've come to over the last couple months. So it's a lot. I had a lot of stuff I had to process and think about, and taking a couple months to kind of reflect on it and figure out where I'm going is, I'd say honestly, it's kind of just what the doctor ordered kind of thing. Because while I was still enjoying what I was doing on Tuesdays with my coverage and such, it was becoming more and more apparent with every week that I had to basically create everything from the ground up by myself. That resentment was growing more and more by the week, and essentially I'd say it was kind of like good timing with everything, because when I was in that accident, and it forced me to literally take steps back and think about it. It was kind of like just a well-timed thing, because it was kind of like that nudge that says, all right, time to take a break because you're starting to get boiled up. You're starting to get steamed over this. So it kind of worked itself out, and it took a lot of time. There actually was a lot of points leading up to this that I actually considered shutting down the MNN sooner, but like I said, I just couldn't stop. I couldn't leave it alone. Because, like I said, there is no one else talking about it. There are no other content creators really that talk about Medarot or play it or like as much as I do or anything like that. So I really would feel bad, and I felt bad for the longest time, and I still do, leaving you guys with no one to cover it, leaving you guys with no one to talk about and discuss it and be that bridge for you guys. Now, that's not saying that I'm not going to I'm going to completely cut out Medarot completely and I'm never going to play it again. No, that's not the case. I will still be very active in the Discord, like I said. I will still be an admin for the PRB community. None of that's going to change. I will still be here for you guys, and I will still continue to play Meta S until end of service. Whenever that ends up being. I honestly don't even know anymore. So I'm still happy to talk about it and give you guys feedback and personal coaching, I guess, for lack of a better term, teach you how to play, do whatever. I'm more than happy to do that. I just won't be making content and videos on it anymore unless you guys want, unless you guys specifically develop it, unless you guys specifically ask me to. Let me go ahead and catch up in here in the chat real quick while, just to kind of catch up on what you guys were talking about while I was reading that. Let me see here. Am I disillusioned with Medarot? I don't want to say yes. I'm not going to say yes because I still greatly enjoy the series as a whole. I'd say, honestly, Meta S has just kind of turned into me less playing it to enjoy it and more just maintaining an account. And I feel bad saying that, honestly, but it's at a point where, like, they've gotten really stale, and honestly, a lot of people even said in the Discord, they've started getting really sloppy with new super invasions that come out or events. In fact, the one part of the reason I actually put all this together and really led up to it, even before the accident, was me making a comment saying that the quality of news was going down on the official channel. And even when they were rerunning collaborations for folks to give a chance to, collect bots they missed or whatever, they weren't even, like, resetting the events or anything. So if you already cleared it the first time or already got all the rewards, there was physically nothing for you to do that week, except just log in, do your dailies, and leave, which you could have done in, like, 10 minutes, tops, if you rushed. So I'm not going to say I'm burning out, but it slowly turned to a point where I was... maintaining my account more than actively playing it. And I felt really bad doing that for a while. Survivor, pretty much like Scrappy said and mentioned, I pretty much denounced it. I said I'm done. I can't defend it anymore. I can't support it. I can't play it. There's just too many things wrong with the game that are not being addressed or fixed, and I just can't do it anymore. I tried holding out. I was a day one JP player. I tried holding out and keeping it as long as I could, thinking that maybe they'd introduce, like, new quality of life or such, but I just can't anymore. I can't. I tried holding out. I did the stream for the global release to be super hyped for it, but I can't. I just can't defend it anymore. And I really hate having to say it like that, but it just is what it is. I can't. That's just the simple way. Let me see. What is support? Not the kind of game. Sadly true regarding official streams. Yeah, in the change in quality, like I said, I want to hold out the hope that maybe it's just they were hyping up card RB, but like I said, at this point, I don't even know anymore. And these last couple months of me being out of the loop, I'm not going to say have, disconnected, detached me from it, but I don't feel as bad about missing them anymore because, I mean, realistically, what am I missing, really? Like, aside from, them showing off new cards or gameplay for Card RB, they're just going to play the in-game news anyway on an HTML, so I can just log in at Meta S and get it there regardless. So it really didn't feel like I was missing anything. And one of, like, the tantamount rule, cornerstone rule number ones of content creation is, if people are going to tune into you, you have to give them a reason to. And if you're just going to read off stuff that people can find elsewhere, then without being transformative, that's the key word, what's the point of tuning in? Like, in you guys' case, you guys tune into me because I translated stuff from the official stuff into English. So even though I was getting my information from somewhere else, I was still providing something unique and transformative, which made you guys want to come see me, which I appreciate. I appreciate all you guys' support. I really, really do. But I just wasn't seeing that in the official channel, and being a content creator, it made me look at it and think, what are they doing that stands it out? And I'm not saying that to make a dig at Imagineer like that, because that is absolutely not the intention of this at all. It's more of a, if they actually see this or hear from me, I just want to know. I'd love to hear their feedback on that, or kind of see what their thought process on it is, because I just wasn't seeing it. and it made it really hard to want to tune in and continue supporting wherever I could. Let me see everything I could. Meta-Rot related topics. I will still continue talking about Meta-Rot stuff pretty much like I have been. Probably just not as often. So say like if someone asks on another gameplay, hey, what do you think of the new model that's coming out in Meta S? I'll talk about it. I'm more than happy to, but there just won't be any breakdowns unless you guys like overwhelmingly tell me you guys want to see them. Let me see here. I'm just catching up in the chat now with everything too. My descendants shall hear your achievements, your name shall not be forgotten. I appreciate that. Thank you. I like to believe I left my mark somewhere, which was kind of the big hope I was shooting for. And like I said, it was nice. I appreciate it. I've learned a lot in content creation, and I will take these lessons that I've learned with me everywhere in life, honestly, as I continue to grow as a content creator. And you know, branch out, try new stuff, play new games, make new friends, and I want to do more of that. And that was also kind of, you know, part of the reason for the longest time that everything, you know, kind of developed as it was. Regardless of changes, I'll try to best my tune in, even if I don't have much say here. Sometimes the best to try a new road. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too, and it just kind of took me a while to think about that. You know, just kind of come to terms with the fact that maybe I just need a new change. We'll definitely miss the MNN since I love watching the coverage. Can understand that you want to take a step back, move forward, and do stuff that makes you happy. Understand the decision. Waters ahead, threaten to capsize. There's no reason to force yourself. Yeah, basically, it was just getting to the point where I was just kind of doing it just to do it, and my head just wasn't in the game anymore. And that actually had been something that's been going on for a while. The last couple of months, or at least leading up to my accident anyway, just kind of was that wake-up call where it was just as bad, you know, where it was as bad as it was, and I just couldn't take it anymore. Knowledge has been invaluable. I'm just reading chat and catching up with you guys too, because I'm going on tangents and I'm trying to catch up with what you guys are saying with that too. I just hope your love for it isn't gone. I wish I'd known you were struggling. Yeah, like I said, my love for Meta-Rot is not going anywhere. I still love the series. I will continue to support it however I can. I just won't be doing it as a dedicated content creator anymore. Now, if Imagineer decides to reach out to me somehow, some way, and say, hey, you know, what happened to your stuff? We kind of watched you passively. We just didn't say anything. Then I don't know. Maybe I'll be, you know, convinced to try something and, you know, make a return and, you know, rebrand the MNN again and do something different with that. But, you know, I don't know. I will have to see. I never got that message from Imagineer yet, so I don't know. We'll see. If they ever decide to reach out, then the door will remain open. I'm not going to close it and say, well, I don't want to hear from them ever again or at all. But, you know, ball's in their court. That's all I can really say. If they want someone dedicated to do the EN stuff, my DMs are always open. You guys can say it. They can find it if they somehow find my little corner of the internet. But the door is open. I'll just leave it that way. Miss you a lot, even though I don't want your content, but I understand. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'm not graduating and just saying I'm done with content creation. I'm just rebranding the MNN as something that I feel I can be happy with and something I want to enjoy again. That's what's that's essentially what's most important to me, is just being able to enjoy what I do. Let's see. Now they're talking about it. Or start paying attention to PRB. Thanks to the efforts. Just say thank you enough. Well, I do appreciate that. Essentially, part of my goal at the very end of the day was just trying to be that mouthpiece to kind of talk about it and spread the word. Since before I really kind of picked up the ball, I guess, it was just kind of those dedicated PRB blog articles, which even then never quite were super accurate or on time or punctual when it came to delivering stuff. But the new admin team that's been taken over that with the PRB pages on Twitter, on Discord, helping moderate with me, even the Facebook community as well. They've been doing fantastic with that, keeping up to date and posting stuff as, you know, new developments come out, new announcements, things like that. If I pass along a word to one of our mods, say, hey, check this out, almost within like the hour, they've already put something up on the official PRB page. So I like the communication that we have with that and trying to keep everyone involved. And I guess in a sense, my dream kind of still came true of being something new for, you know, and transformative for the Western community. So I guess it kind of works out in the end. Pretty new to the channel. Didn't know I was in an accident. Yeah, I was not very public about me saying I was in an accident because it was a lot. It was a crazy amount of stress. Probably the most stress I've ever been in my life. I would not actively recommend it to anyone. But it was a lot. And let's see. Scene progression S has ground to a halt. Survivor's dead unless something changes. Oh no, I agree. There's like a dozen different things I could suggest to Survivor to absolutely fix it and get it back running again. But I don't think they'll hear it from me, honestly. So I'm just gonna kind of leave it there. And if anything changes, maybe I'll be, coaxed into reinstalling the game. But we'll see. If we ever get a new mainline Medarot game, what would you want in it? Honestly, starting with Medarot 9 would be a really solid template because its gameplay mechanics were solid, had great animations, lots of unique little perks, its battle system was very well balanced, maybe just some new stuff, some extra animation stuff to kind of make it fancy and such. Maybe the shuffle run that they kept in Meta S, they could introduce into it, but then just use the attacking animations from Meta 9, but that's just me. Let me see. Would you Imagineer ever think of releasing Meta S globally? Honestly, I'm not counting on it. I am not counting on them releasing Meta S at all. It's got far too many years of stuff going on, and I really don't think that they're going to. And all the different news with and all the different collaborations that are in it, I think that'd just be kind of a headache waiting to happen unless they coordinate with every single person that they've collaborated with and said, hey, we want to release this globally. What do you think? And it'll be up to those other IP holders at that point. So I can't say unless they make some kind of public statement about it, but I honestly would not count on it. But given that Switches are not region locked like the 3DSs were, there is also nothing stopping you from playing it on your own home Switch if you just order a physical copy. So I'm just saying, you guys can still play. Just make sure you have a translator on hand is really all I can suggest. As far as Card RB is concerned, I actually do want to shout out a buddy of mine, Lagamus Prime, who's been doing stuff on his own channel. Basically picked up the ball with Card RB, much like I did Meta S, and that superstar basically played the demo, looked through everything in the game, translated all the cards, figured out how to play. Absolute props to that madman for what he did. I have to give credit where it's due. So if you guys want to know how to play Card RB and plan to get a physical copy, the TCG channel in the Discord is one of your best places to go look because that man has done the work. I highly recommend checking it out, and it's quite thorough, very, very thorough. I'm very, very impressed with it. Let me see. Hopefully next month after RB's release, they can return to upping the quality. I hope so. I really hope so. But I don't know. Let me see. I'm catching up here on stuff. You guys are talking faster than me reading stuff, but I keep getting distracted catching up on comments. Imagineer's a bit misguided at the moment. Probably should take a public critique from you and everyone. I would love, and I think I made a comment on that once before in another stream. I would love to have a chance to sit down with the Medarot team for Imagineer and talk about it. I would love that opportunity because obviously, as you guys know, I've been closest to talking with you guys and hearing the comments and the critiques and the criticisms up front day one. So I know what you guys are looking for. I would love that opportunity, nothing more, to talk to them and just kind of express it and say, hey, we have some ideas. We've been supporting you for years. Here's what we think. And just kind of see where it goes. Will it happen? I don't know. But I would love that opportunity. Imagineer, if you are hearing me, my door is open. I would love to hear from you and coordinate a conversation on that. Please do not hesitate to reach out. Will they hear this? I don't know, but I'm leaving the door open. Will I cover any other Medarot things? Maybe stream older games? Yes, that is absolutely the plan. That always was the plan. I was going to play Meta 3 at some point, maybe Meta R, Navi or so. I just never got around to it, really. So yes, that is absolutely on the docket. I just have to figure out when. Would you do a playthrough of translated games? Yes, I answered that. I do absolutely plan to do that at some point when I'm ready to cover them. Am I keeping this channel as MNN or switching to another channel? No, I am renaming this channel. Everything's going to stay as it was. You guys will still tune into this same channel as you have been, but it's going to be under a new name and a new form of content. So you will start seeing things that are not Medarot stuff. Get Let's Plays, collab game, more collab games with friends, hot takes, invite a friend on for discussions or podcasts or whatever. You guys are going to start seeing more of that fill in. But all my previous stuff will be staying. I'm not taking it down. I'm not going to delete it. It's staying where it is. Let me see. Don't forget to take care of yourself. Take care of your channel. Yep, that's the plan. Marcus, I'm the first fool to fully post Metabots Infinity because I didn't want someone else doing it. Yeah, basically. And I mentioned that to you as well, Model. I followed you for a while before I became a content creator, so I hugely respect you for what you did with the Navi playthrough, with Duel, Infinity, a couple other games. You were talked about in the server quite some time before I picked up the picked up the camera and started rolling. So props to you on that. I do appreciate it, and I offer you my, I tip my goggles to you in respect for what you've also done for the community. Fabioshi, we still wish I can play Meta S, miss the teams. Yeah, it's, I mean, ultimately, if it's still saved to a Google account you have access to, it'll still be there as long as it's linked. You just need to be able to have a way to install the game. That's really it. Also, why I pulled back from uploading was because videos were getting stale. Yep, basically. Content has kept me entertained for a while. Wish I'd known your struggles as a dedicated content creator. Honestly, the effort you put in, yeah. Like, see, here's the thing about me. As a type B introvert kind of personality, I don't like telling people my problems. So the fact I kind of dumped my hiatus letter on you guys all of a sudden and said, I'm burning out, I had all this going on, I can't take it anymore, I need a break. I really, really genuinely hated doing that to you. I did not like how I did that. But with everything that was going on, I really had no choice. So, like I said, I apologize for that with everything that went on. I just really couldn't afford it. And I just don't like talking about that ultimately until it literally, happens, and then I have no choice but to address it. But yeah, that's kind of how it is. It's a development, like I said. I'm just taking it a day at a time. And the last couple months with me kind of, trying to figure everything out, the new employment and everything, it's situating itself. It's working itself back. I was actually able to finally pay off the last chunk of my credit card a couple days ago, which is nice. I don't have that bill sitting on top of me anymore. I fully own my computer now, so I don't owe anything on it, which is great. Little personal victories, wherever they can. Let me see. Will I rebrand as a different channel? Yes, channel will be staying the same, but I simply will rename it. You guys will notice it under the new name and banner when I'm ready to do that. Just hope Imagineer understands why the EN audience suffers from their lack of attention. Yes, absolutely. Keep the MNN as is. Hold on. Almost catching up with you. Almost catching up with chat. I'm almost there. Will say this, though, you did leave a mark on my interest with the series ever since I found it in 2021. Thanks for everything you do with the community and helping bring fans together. That was my goal from the very beginning, is just to be a place for everyone to talk about Meta as a whole, any anime, any new games that come out, or anything else like Meta S, how to play, how to install. And basically be that central hub, essentially, to bring everybody together. Because the communities didn't exist really elsewhere. That was the reason I did it to begin with. So I'm glad at least that part of my dream, came true, I suppose. So I appreciate that. Learned a lot about Metabots, never knew it existed on your channel, so your mark has definitely been made. I appreciate that. Thank you. Hope I've been healing well since the accident. Yes, like I said, it was nothing short of a miracle. I walked away from that accident with no broken bones. I literally was conscious the entire time when the car tipped over. I don't know how, but I was. And the only injuries I sustained were just some glass cuts on my hands when I was crawling out. But when I went to the hospital later to get checked out, I had a CT scan done, everything. No broken bones, no internal injuries, no bleeding, no nothing. And honestly, the cuts on my hands healed in a couple days. So nothing short of a sheer miracle that I am alive. I legitimately probably should have died in that accident because I was hit head on the driver's side. It's not like T-bone straight up, straight in the middle. No, I was hit on the driver's side. So I probably should not be alive. But nothing short of a miracle. And I'm ever praising for that as well. Love Metabots Duel type games to come. Yes, absolutely. I would like to see them play with Duel and GM's engine more. That they had a really good thing running with those. Maybe someone even pick up Medarot Navi's translation. I'd love to see someone do that because there's a lot of people that want to play Navi translated, but just not anyone that's had the chance to talk about it. Animations for Meta S were from Meta 8 as well. Yeah, they reused Meta 8's animations, which even the JP community was kind of scratching their heads over for a while, wondering why'd they pick these. So I don't know. I don't really know. Hub, I'm not a TGC person. Glad the others are at least getting some. Yeah, Card RB is definitely picking up a lot, and I'm excited for that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna harp on Card RB and say, oh, it's the reason that the other stuff is going downhill. No, no, no. I'm not gonna do that. That's not the intent. It's just more the case of if you guys had the resources to make all these PowerPoints and such, why not just like carry that quality with everything else? Not, just like give the biggest piece of the pie to Card RB and just shunt everything else. It doesn't make a lot of sense, at least to me anyway. That was kind of my big question with it. Let me see. Does Imagineer have a place to contact them? Honestly, I really don't know. They probably have a contact us email somewhere on their website. I'm not gonna say that that's something that you need to go do and go harass them over it, but that'd be something that you could probably go look up later and just let them know. Now, I will say though that there is actually a pinned there is a pinned tweet in the official in the PRB's Discord with a link where you can send them a fan letter. And every once in a while, Producer-san will actually read those on the official channel and spend a few minutes. So, I don't know. Maybe if enough people send enough letters to them and say, hey, expand westward, or hey, what about this guy, or whatever, maybe they'll listen. I don't know. I sent a couple fan letters to them. Producer-san has read stuff from me a couple of times in the past, but I don't know. We'll leave it that way. Curiously, do we know if Imagineer has a department of content creators? No, they do not. I can tell you that for a fact they do not, because I actually did ask them, or make an allusion to it, saying I'd love to help you guys out and work with you if I could, as a content creator, as an unofficial content creator. They said they don't actually have a dedicated party page support for that, so I don't know. We'll see. It would be really nice. Smay, haven't seen you in a hot minute. Hope you've been doing really well. Come so far since I started watching. I'm sure you'll produce more awesome things going forward. Thank you. It's been a hot minute since I've seen you, Smay. I hope you're doing well. We need to get in contact more and do stuff. Let me see. Thanks to PRB, I've started discovering my love for data mining and have been contributing toward released assets towards Spider's Resource and Metapedia. Yeah, see, the more people that do that and talk about releasing stuff and just getting stuff involved with the community, I appreciate that. Just the general rule of don't release the unreleased stuff, because that's kind of what got the English wiki that we had years ago for Meta S in trouble the first time with DMCAs, and it's just not been updated since. So it was yeah, it's kind of like a, I'm not gonna say it's a hush-hush thing, but if you're gonna post stuff, just make sure it's actually in the game first, public stuff, because data mining and such, because the biggest thing that we've done is we don't know how Imagineer exactly behaves and reacts to people using their stuff, say for like fan content or pages or animations or whatever. We really don't know. Are they super chill on it like, say, Sega is? Are they super anal about it like Nintendo? We don't know. And being completely honest, I really don't want to poke that bear. I don't want to work on something and post it and then come back and say, yeah, so I got a legal cease and desist from Imagineer. I don't want to do that. And I'm assured that all of my stuff will be in good, with good intentions and such. But I just don't want to poke that bear. And if it happens, we'll figure it out as it goes. But I'm not going to be the one to actively poke it, that's all. Let me see. Paying off a debt feels awesome. Yes, it feels really nice. I treated myself to Asian that night. It was nice. I appreciate it. It was a really good tasting bowl of chicken fried rice. I'll put it that way. It felt really good for once. Let me see. Car thing is similar to what happened to my sister, except she slid into a bridge. Ooh. Never seen me pulling a body out of the wreck. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's good to know that worked itself out though, Lottle. It's good to know. But yeah, it was my accident was crazy. I'm honestly I was honestly surprised that I walked away as scot-free as I did. It was wild. And like I said, the fact I was conscious the whole time with it too, I didn't like black out or anything like that, was also something kind of crazy. But yeah, like I said, just some minor glass cuts on my hands, no broken bones. My psyche was a complete mess for a while. I couldn't sleep well for like 2 weeks because I kept replaying the accident in my head. PTSD will do that to you guys. It's a crazy thing, I'm telling you. But no, it's been nice. I'm on a mend. Things are kind of building up slowly. I'm not gonna promise any kind of progress anytime soon, but it'll come as it goes. Let me see. Oh yeah, I hope that project can continue without any issues. Wrath of Imagineer, yeah. Still need to get on with the Meta 9 arc. Yeah, I want to play Meta 9. I still want to play Meta 9. The patch is still kind of buggy, I'm told, and there's still some bits in it that still need translated proper. But yeah, I would like to play Meta 9 formally. I played it JP only on native 3DS hardware. It is a fun game. What types of games would I like to try when I come back? RPG, creature collectors. I have a handful of games already that are kind of on my playlist that I'd like to do. I'd like to play a Zelda game formally. I know I did the Dark Cloud 2 Let's Play way back. I really enjoy doing that. I'd love to start doing things like that again. I have a Zelda game on the books. I just don't know which one yet. I did play Xenoblade Chronicles 3 finally. I've been putting on hold for years. I've been holding on to. Fantastic game, by the way. Highly, highly recommend. If you played any Xenoblade title, I highly recommend playing it. It's fantastic. I have not played the Future Redeemed DLC yet, though, so I might possibly do that as a stream when I get my capture card back up and running again. Like I said, I want to do more Let's Plays. I want to do more collab games. I have some party games on hand. I want to be able to do and get some get some folks in to play that. Creature collectors, puzzle games. I got a handful of stuff, like I said. I just need to figure that out. Essentially, what I want to do is, actually, before I get to that, let me see here. Hey, Kuro, nice to see you again. Just enter the stream. Are you going to do at least gameplays about Bedrock games in the close future? Yes, I did address that before. I still am going to play, or have an interest in playing Bedrock games at some point on stream. I just don't know which ones, and I just don't know when yet. So I will keep you guys posted. I don't know if I'll start doing like a whole schedule thing going forward with things like that, but we'll see. We'll see. But essentially, PRB Discord on Jackbox would be insane. I've actually done that before. Not on my channel, but it was for my buddy Emeraldo's 2.0 model debut. I was part of his reveal party and debut party, and we played Jackbox in a special Discord. That was a lot of fun, honestly. That was a lot of fun. I may consider doing that. I'll have to see. What was I saying before? What I want to do? Yes. So basically, what I'm kind of wanting to see myself doing going forward is I wanted to do this stream. I wanted to talk about, the decisions I've come to, formally shutting down the MNN and rebranding. I wanted to kind of take a minute to kind of keep you guys involved and keep you guys up to date with what what I've come to terms with, what I've decided, because you guys are as important to this channel as I am. It's you guys are important. You guys are tantamount to this. You guys are the reason I'm doing this to begin with. But what I want to do is essentially, now that I've officially made my announcement, I'm going to start making the post kind of summarizing everything I've talked about, and everything like that. And I'm going to start slowly switching stuff over on the channel to reflect the new brand, to reflect the new name, the new channel logo, the new background. Pretty much like you see here, actually. This is going to be my new streaming background that I've worked on and tinkered with. So I've had some fun with it. New channel intro, new outro. I want to make everything from the ground up. And basically, formally reintroduce myself. So I want to do that, and just kind of figure it out slowly, slowly and surely. Let me see. Besides, obviously, Ocarina of Time, Minish Cap is Zelda I recommend. I've heard good things about Minish Cap. I tried playing it initially years ago, but I never had a chance to finish it. I've debated playing Ocarina of Time. That is actually one of the ones I've considered. One of the other ones I was thinking was Skyward Sword, because I had the HD version on my Switch. But during my 2-month hiatus, I actually played it all the way through. I had like a 95% completion, actually. I think there was only like... I don't know. I think there's maybe like 2 or 3 heart containers I was missing, but I completed all the side quests. I helped Batro with all the gratitude crystals. I explored everywhere. I've completed Skyward Sword to completion and beat it all the way through. Very fun game. I really did enjoy it. Skyward Sword is the worst. Fight me, man. I'm kidding. No, I appreciate Skyward Sword. I liked its soundtrack. I really appreciated what it was. I just never finished Skyward Sword HD all the way through. So when I was off these last couple of months, I actually did play it, and I enjoyed it. It was really, really nice. And the better motion controls on the Switch definitely paid off. I really appreciated that. The other one was Twilight Princess. I was considering Twilight Princess essentially as one of the other ones, and I may end up doing that one. Let me see here. We'll say, I'm glad to have encountered you guys. Help me jumpstart subbing apps. So I've been busy. Why do you like Metabots if you didn't watch in 2001? Yeah, so basically the origin story to me being a meta runner and a big fan. It actually started. When did it start? I think it was like 2013, 2014, I think, actually, when I got into it. My brother brought home a copy of Metabots Infinity from GameStop one day. It was like $3 out of their bargain bin or something. And we played it, and I fell in love with it day one. Now, of course, it was super buggy. We didn't understand exactly everything about it, but we played it a lot, and we enjoyed it. And after that, I got into the anime and got into playing and trying that out, and basically just kind of kept up with the series ever since. Just wasn't actively involved with reporting on it and talking about it until about 5 years ago. Almost to the day, actually. Let me see. Kind of going here. Minish Cap is so fun. Highly recommend. I might actually get into that one. I'll think about it. It was on my watch list for a while. What are thoughts about the current channel weekly video format? Do you think they're losing interest in mobile games? I don't know. I frankly have no clue. I have no clue what Imagineer's planning and talking about these days. And honestly, it's anyone's game. What they decide to do with that at this point, I have no clue. What they decide to announce and reveal and talk about, that's on them. I'll talk about it. I'll say, oh, this is cool. This is awesome. But I just won't make any content on it unless you guys like absolutely say, hey, Kura, you have to cover this. This is awesome. In that case, I'll look into it and see what I can do. But I just won't be like quick on the draw like I have been for the last few years. Let me see. Oh, good question. Would definitely made very little interest if I never saw the anime. Yeah, like I said, it started with Metabots Infinity, which is funny because I'll still harp on the game as a great concept, but dead on arrival kind of thing. Starting point wise, Ocarina of Time is excellent. It's a standard what Zelda game should. Lore wise, Skyward Sword was good. Yes. I agree with that. Majora's Mask. I've thought about that one. I like Majora's Mask for what it offered. I don't know if it'd be something I'd be actively looking into playing, but I'll think about it. Let me see. Shorts would be a good format. I thought about shorts. I just need to figure out how to do those properly with this. But with this new format, I might. We'll see. And that's not stopping you guys either. If you stream and find a funny quip or something I say or something happens, clip it. You guys don't have to ask me for permission. If you clip it, post it. I'm more than happy to let you guys do that. Just link it back to me. Tag me in it, would you? Because I like to keep up to date with that stuff. Recommend Four Swords. I've heard good things about Four Swords as well. Let me see. Recommend Digimon to you. Watch it again. Row Battle 3D needs to be given the community to recreate. House is hoarding abandonware. That is actually a the whole thing with Row Battle 3D is kind of a really mixed card. And I can say that because I'm not sure if you saw that video I did. If not, dig in my channel for it. You will find it. But I actually had a chance to speak with Faust specifically about Row Battle 3D. It was like a whole hour-long discussion we had. Really, really enlightening stuff. Really nice guy. And essentially, I think the agreement he had was, it was specifically with Nelvana at the time, about, you know, whether it could be like released publicly or worked on or, you know, put on, you know, ported to another platform. I don't exactly remember those conversations without going back to listen to that whole thing again. But it was something to do specifically with trademarking and contracting, I believe, was the big discussion to it. What Faust has been doing actually in the PRB Discord is kind of posting snippets of like animations and gameplay, as well as like 3D turnarounds that can be added to the Metapedia, which is a huge thing. And really appreciate Faust for doing that. What he's also been doing is doing occasionally on Twitch, he'd do, I'm not going to say like a Let's Play, but kind of like a row battle sim, for lack of a better term, where he'll play oh, hi, Faust. Speak of the devil, we were just talking about you. He would be hosting a Row Battle 3D on his software to, you know, to kind of let the chat kind of decide what parts and what bots they want to see, and just kind of let people see it, because the original websites were all shut down. But yeah, that's kind of the short answer to it. It was a whole discussion with Nelvana specifically, and that's kind of what led it to its current state. But no, it's it was honestly, it was a very enlightening discussion. Really, really nice guy. We had a lot of great talking points to talk about. Highly recommend that video if you have not. Yeah, literally perfect timing. Like we were just talking about it, and suddenly, poof, there he is. So really appreciate that. But anyway, Faust, I was just addressing Tech Cartel's comments on Row Battle 3D, and you know, saying that it needs to be given the community to recreate, and mentioned the conversations that you and I had about it. And I think it would definitely be something really cool. Like, even if we don't use Row Battle 3D 1-to-1, and, you know, like rebuild the engine, it would be really cool to kind of like see something like that again, if the interest is ever there. But for that, it's honestly crazy, you know, talking about you know, just kind of talking about it and discussing it and sharing it and everything like that. I appreciate everything that you do with that, and the fact that you still have basically, you know, the one working copy that's still there, and still showing it. You're not like just hiding it and saying, oh, it exists, but I'm not showing it. You know, the fact that you're still showing off bits of it and you're more than happy to talk about it is great. And we've had lots of enlightening discussion, not just between you and me, but also in the Discord as well, with folks that were also genuinely curious or interested, and folks that even remember playing it back in the day too. So it'd be nice. Let me see what kind of magic some of the man himself. Yeah, no kidding. I'd like to see this kind of recreated in another stream sometime down the line. Would also like to still do waiting for a Metabots fan game or Pokemon Showdown like game. See, here's the thing. If you guys have talked to me on Discord or know me on Discord longer than like 30 days, you will know I've said this more than once. If somebody that's knowledgeable in, you know, data mining, ripping, whatever, if somebody is able to pull out or rebuild from the ground up 1-to-1 a Metabots game fit engine, like say they took Medarot 4 or Medarot 5 or something like that, and they completely ripped out all the assets and made a fully versatile, customizable engine, whatever the term is for ROM hacks, and release it with instructions on like how to make skills, you know, modifying the damage numbers and sprites and such. If somebody were to do that, I guarantee you, I guarantee you, I will put my goggles on the table and guarantee to you that'll be like the biggest monumental contribution to the fan community from Medarot you will ever see in this history. Because fan games unfortunately do not exist for this game, for this series. There's a couple randomizers that exist for 2 core, but not anything as far as like fan stuff is concerned. So translations are great, but if somebody could possibly, you know, reverse engineer a working engine of, say, like Medarot 4 or something, or Navi or something, and release it publicly, I'm telling you, man, people would be on that like what's that popular show, Shark Tank. They'd be on you like Shark Tank with wanting to make ROM hacks for stuff, custom Metabots from newer games and older styles. I guarantee you, it would take off like a rocket if somebody did. So we just haven't had it yet. Doors open. I'd be more than happy to do sprite art if anyone does, but we just haven't heard from it yet. Yeah, I wish the Metabots fan games were built off DS and GBA RPGs. Yeah, exactly. We just need to find someone who's able to do it, more or less. But yeah, that's essentially it. I do have another big surprise for you guys, though, leading up to this. I do need to shift some stuff over here real quick, so I can do this. Work with me, please. Windows, thank you. There is another big thing I wanted to share with you guys and talk about, and that is the reveal of my new channel logo. Because I've actually been hiding behind it, hiding in front of it the whole time on purpose to not show you guys until the very, very end. But over the last few weeks, I've also been working on, when I decided that I wanted to rebrand, new channel name, new logo, new arts, new everything. I've been working on a new channel logo for Isagami Machine Works. So I'm actually very happy and very proud and confident to share this with you guys. I'm really excited. So where is it? I'm going to do that. And I'm going to slide right over here. There we go. There you go. That is my new channel logo. That is the new channel logo that will be premiering. Work with me, please. For Isagami Machine Works, when I am ready to formally rebrand and re-debut as an indie VTuber. So honestly, I kind of like it. I had a lot of fun putting this together. The idea kind of was something I was tinkering with for a while. I had an idea in my head of what I wanted it to look like, but it took a couple of iterations to kind of get it somewhere I was confident with. So I really like this one. I'm actually gonna have some fun with this because it's still in pieces, obviously, but I want to kind of have some fun with like animations and such with it and do stuff like that. I want to do stuff like that, but I need to reinstall DaVinci and get that back up and running as well. That's also on the books. But yeah, just kind of showing this here real quick if I hide it. So yeah, that's my new background formally. I would like to actually make an animated version of this where like the gears are actually like spinning in the background. But like I said, I just have to actually put DaVinci back on my computer and actually do that first. So it's a work in progress. But essentially, yeah, like you see, it's a big gear. But if you notice, it's actually it actually has my new channel letters in it, IMW. So if you guys see that, props to you. I thought it was really clever putting that together. Coming with a channel name though was a bit of a trick though, because but I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with it. I'm liking this new direction. I like the how the new channel logo came out, and from here essentially it's gonna be more or less just kind of redesigning everything and putting it all together, and yeah. That's kind of that's kind of how it is. Let me see here. If you have the chance to record gameplays, what do you like as Zelda? Would you do this channel as a dedicated Kura gameplays channel? It's gonna be a little bit of everything actually. So I want to do let's plays. I'm gonna do collabs. Maybe a Meta Rock game every now and then if if the interest is there and if I finally get around to it. A little bit of everything. Essentially like most other VTuber channels that you'd see. The difference is, if someone else decides, if there is new meta stuff that, Meta Rot stuff that comes out, I may feel led to continue talking about it. I'd be more than happy to. I just won't be the first one that's quick on the draw to talk about it like I have been before. Let me see. Or other option to rebrand your channel with something that includes not only Meta Rot. Yes, exactly. Essentially, it's going to be a little bit of everything channel. That's essentially the short answer to it. Sorry late for the live stream. Not late at all. We're still in the discussion of everything. A lot of discussion had already taken place. I'll essentially recap it again for... I'll just recap it for you, essentially. Long story short, after 5 years of being the dedicated Metarot News Network page for all your meta needs from day one, I will be shutting down the MNN formally and rebranding under a new name and new style of content. So the channel, the next time that it does officially go live, I'm probably gonna do a formal debut channel again, like a re-debut kind of thing. I will be rebranding under a new name, and it'll be my channel will be known as Isagami Machine Works going forward. Very excited for that. I have some ideas and plans in mind. I just have to figure some stuff out, work on some new assets, and work on some things. I'm not sure if you guys even noticed it, that I actually made a change to my model in light of this stream. I'm not sure if you guys noticed it or picked up on it yet. I'm surprised no one actually said anything. But yeah, I made a minor change to my model, to reflect this. It was actually there since the moment I started the stream. Let's see if you guys can notice it, or if you guys did notice it, what is the change? So I'll give you guys a second to think about that while I'm catching up on some other things too, and just kind of keeping up to date with everything here. Let me see. Everything's doing good. Let me catch up with some stuff here. I'm just catching up with some stuff here while you guys are looking that over. See here. Is it the logo? Is it the metal? Yes, it is indeed the metal. I went back into my model files and I essentially filled it into a more kind of more or less the caricaturized version of it. Iron the tie. No, I've not done that yet. But no, it is the metal. The metal pin on my vest. I officially replaced. I'm not gonna say replaced it, but essentially closed out the old logo on it, so it's a more generic metal kind of thing. Unrelated note, always thought the M&M being an earth metal was a clever touch. That design actually was not mine. What happened was a friend of mine actually made a mock-up render essentially for my original logo, which was very similar to this one. I just simply recolored it, redid it all myself. So I have to give credit where that's due. And I just kind of held on to the idea ever since. But yeah, I did redo the metal. That is the big change. So going forward, this will be kind of the new look. If I decide to do any other changes to it, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. Maybe like when Christmas comes around, I'll do like a recolor with recolor the vest like red or green or something. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I made that change. So effective end of the stream, the MNN will be formally shut down. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna go into another hiatus, but I'll keep you guys in the know when I'm ready to officially start doing streams and other content again. I've just got to figure some things out. I think the first official stream I will do when I come back officially will be a re-debut. It'll be a chance to show off, if I have a new channel intro and outro by then, kind of go over my channel rules again, and just kind of formally introduce who I am and what I do, and what I hope for the channel going forward. Kind of a fresh start kind of thing. So that'll be the big plan when I'm ready to do that. I just have to work on everything for that first and put it all together, as I said. But yeah, that's essentially it. Really, it took it took a lot of careful soul searching to figure out what I wanted to do and get to this point. And it was a lot. It took a lot, and there are still a lot of questions that I have myself regarding my decision to rebrand, and it'll be a development. That's all I can really say. So that's essentially it, really. If you guys have any other questions for me or anything that you want to anything that you want me to talk about or address, I'm more than happy to do that. The floor is still yours, and just kind of keep it as a Q&A before I officially shut everything down and close the stream. Hard work begins, though it'll be fun once more, right? Yep, absolutely. That's the hope, is being able to play stuff that I want to play and enjoy and actually have fun streaming again. And, really, stay on top of that and just kind of play it by ear. I'll find another way to continue. Yeah. The thing ultimately is I didn't want to stop streaming. That was the bottom line. I did not want to stop streaming. I still want to. I enjoy doing it. I just never had the chance to, because I was figuring, okay, well, how is this going to tie into my channel, or how am I going to brand this or market it and so on, talking about it on social media and such. And it just kind of burned out. And I ended up having a whole list of things I wanted to play and just never got around to. So hopefully with a formal rebrand will be nice, because now I'll be free to do what I want. Excuse me. I'll be free to do what I want with no limits, no rules or anything like that, or anything that I kind of felt like I had to follow before. So it'll be nice. I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be I think it's a well-needed change to kind of close the MNN on this note and prepare for a rebrand. Honestly, now as I think about it too, I was thinking, when I thought about the date to put this stream up, I didn't even think about it until after I actually made the announcement saying, hey, June 1st, I'll be, formally addressing, the decisions made over the last month and a half, 2 month hiatus that I had, the decision I've come to. But it actually falls almost exactly on the 1 year anniversary of me actually starting the MNN. June 4th actually would be the 5 year anniversary for the series. So I think that it's a nice little taste of irony, essentially, that essentially it would come full circle to 5 full years of me delivering the meta news to you guys and being that dedicated tinkerer and meta rodder for all of you. So I think it's kind of nice. It's bittersweet, but I think it's nice the way it ended. And in case anyone else picked up on any other clues, I'd actually changed the names of my Twitter and Blue Sky pages to reflect this as well in the meantime. So, but those have been like a month ago since I did that, so, But, I just want to say I will continue to support and watch your videos when you return. Good luck on the re-debut. Thank you, I do appreciate that. And I'm hoping, I'll keep you guys in the know when I'm ready to formally re-debut and, kind of start things up on a fresh note like that. Although it does make one think, who will be the next Metabot Metarots guy now? Honestly, at this point, it's not really my question to answer. I was for 5 years, and it just got to a point that I just couldn't do it anymore. I burned out. I literally crashed, and it just got to a point where I just couldn't do it, and I wasn't happy doing it anymore. So if someone else decides to take up the reins and do it themselves, that'll be up to them. I guess if that ever does happen, that someone else decides to pick it up, I kind of like to be in the know about that. Just kind of like a ceremonial, I don't know, like passing of the torch kind of thing. Like say, hey, it's been a real pleasure doing it for 5 years. Make sure you guys treat this new person really nicely as they start doing it as well. And I'll support them if they decide to be the next Medabots guy for the internet and pick up where I left off and start working on things. I'd be happy to support them and share and do whatever. I'm happy to do that. I'd be more than happy to, and ceremonially pass the torch. But we'll see. But yeah, let me see. Feels like cop-out to say that we're all Medabots guys and gals. You can say we are super guys. Ah ha ha ha. Very funny. Very, very funny joke. I see what you did there. That is funny joke. You tell funny joke. Yes. But yeah, if someone does officially decide to take up the reins as the new Medabots guy, start a channel, do content creation, absolutely, by all means. There is nothing stopping you. There was nothing stopping you before. But we'll see. I just know there are friend groups with a dedicated Medabots person. Well, if anything, worst comes to worst, you can always just send them to Project Rising Beetle and they can, mingle with other communities, But yeah, that's essentially it. So, like I said, if you guys have any other questions or statements or anything else to make, floor's all yours. So I'll give you guys a chance to type those out and work on it while I'm putting stuff up here and looking at some stuff. Let me see. Let's see here. Okay, let me see. Okay. All right. So let me get a drink here real quick. There we go. I forgot I had a drink next to me the whole time. I forgot all about and didn't think about it. So yeah, honestly, it was just like a good hour and a half of me just yapping and sharing my thoughts with y'all. And it's pretty nice. It's honestly kind of nice being able to kind of wrap up things like this and kind of offer a warm farewell to the MNN as as it steers toward a new horizon. It was really fun. I really appreciated it and enjoyed every step of the way. I've learned a lot about content creation, public speaking, video editing. I've learned a lot with it, and it was really nice. And I'm hoping to be able to kind of build where the MNN left off as Isagami Machine Works, as IMW. So we'll see. I'm excited for it. I have a good feeling, and it'll be nice. Have you ever read the fan-made Medabots comics? I did follow the one on DeviantArt for a while. I know exactly who you're talking about. Being completely honest, I'm not even on DeviantArt anymore. Like, I mean, like, I have the profile there, but and probably some really old arts I worked on. I've actually thought about just taking it down because I'm not even on it anymore, man. There's just so many other things to put up and work on and deal with, and I just haven't. I just haven't been on there. So, but yeah, I know which comic you're talking about. I followed it for a while. I kind of fell out of it, honestly, because it started turning. How do I say this without being critical of the comic? Because it is one's interpretation. It was very well done, and their original designs were actually really nice. But it kind of got to the point where the central focus was their original Moth-type Metarots, and it was kind of a case of like, they could beat anybody. Like, they were such a high-grade military prototype that, they could top even other military-grade models, and it became kind of a, my OC is the most powerful. And I can understand, there's a power leveling with that, where you have to keep that in mind, but at least to me anyway, if you're going to make an OC, especially a very believable one, you want to give them strengths and weaknesses. And there's nothing wrong with making a very powerful, like military grade or military equivalent prototype that's like high performance. I get that. There's nothing wrong with it. But you also want to be able to tie in weaknesses that actually like make it believable. Like at least with Beastmaster as a great example, it's a feral weapon of mass destruction. But its weakness is you don't see it anywhere because they didn't release commercial versions of it. So it's locked in a basement somewhere where nobody's going to see it. And its other weakness is it's feral. It's a beast master. It doesn't think outside of I'm going to blow it up. So that's an example anyway. But yeah, I know which comic you're talking about. It was a good one. I just kind of fell out of it a while back and just never picked it back up again. So I don't know. We'll see. If someone else decides to make more comics like that down the line, I'll be happy to check them out and take a look. DeviantArt still exists? Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, like I said, I just haven't been into it for a while, and my account's kind of there. Doesn't do anything. It actually still has my old V1 design as a profile picture on it. But yeah, that's essentially it. Always go for glass cannons. See, a great example, glass cannons. High power, high performance, but if you get touched by anything, that's where you get keeled over. See, that great example. Great example, Getter. I appreciate that. But yeah, that's essentially it really. Is I am graduating the MNN. It will be shut down. The workshop doors will be closing formally under that name. And going forward, when I rebrand and when I re-debut, it will be under a new channel name with a new overview, essentially, of what I will be hope to do with the channel going forward. So yeah, that's essentially it, really. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of close it from here and kind of say farewell to the MNN and everything that has been up to these last 5 years. So with all that being said, thank you all so much for stopping in and encouraging me and supporting me as you have been. I greatly appreciate that. So as always, this is your host one final time of the Medarot News Network, Kura Isagami of the MNN, signing out.